So guys, this was the moment Peter Obi joined protesters to demand that the Senate pass the bill on e-transmission of election results. Nigerians have said without the transmission of result real time, the next election is not going to be possible. If the Senate refuses to pass that bill, that there won't be any election. Now, Peter Obi has joined Nigerian youths, asking the Senate to do the simplest of the tasks they have to do, just to approve that electronic transmission of election results. They know that that is where the rigging happens. If they don't transmit it real time like South Africa does, like Ghana does, you know, if they don't transmit it during collation, they change figures. And because APC is afraid, they want to continue changing figures. So guys, this is Peter Obi joining the Nigerian youth to demand that the INEC does the needful. Now see this headline says Peter Obi leads anti-Senate protest on e-transmission of election results. And this other headline here says Nigerian youth protesting in front of the National Assembly this morning to demand the provision for mandatory electronic transmission of results, of election results ahead of 2027 election. That is what Nigeria, mandatory. Don't tell us INEC will decide. No, mandatory. That it is mandatory. So that we would test their popularity. Say they are afraid, let them pass it. So now, many Nigerians have been reacting, saying, why is Tinubu and Akapbio afraid of the mandatory transmission of election results? Shebi, they are boasting that they have 31 state governors. See what this person tweeted here. He said, Tinubu said that he's so popular with 31 governors. So why is he afraid? Why is Tinubu afraid? With 31 governors, you still don't want to pass a bill on, you know, mandatory transmission of election results when you have 31 governors. So guys, these people know that power belongs to the people, and that is what is making them to be afraid. Now take your time, watch these videos, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Simple transmission. It's not a difficult thing. Allow the elections to go through the normal process. Whoever wins will accept. So why are you bringing us of confusion?
I want to ask you a question. Last week, they protested, and last night, the Senate issued a statement saying that they are going to have an emergency plenary sitting tomorrow. Doesn't that make a difference?
That's what we are trying to make sure they make that difference.
So are you coming here tomorrow to protest as well?
No. When they sit tomorrow, after they are sitting tomorrow.
But the political parties are lagging behind. It's as if it's the Nigerian situation that is working. They are working towards this action.
We are working. We are doing that. That's what it's good you are seeing me today now.
It's the first time for everything. Let us get on that side with people. Amechi.
Yeah, we'll stay with you. Let's continue to have a sight and sound of the protest at the National Assembly complex.
No be Tinubu get Nigeria. No be we get Nigeria. No be Shekima get Nigeria. All of us get Nigeria. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. We are tired of selection. Give us election. We are tired of selection. Give us election. We are tired of selection. We want election. We are tired of selection. We want election. You must come out and pass the electoral reform.
Exactly.
No. As we dey talk now, make officers no contact because this Nigeria so now our Nigeria.
Yes,
this National Assembly where we come from. Akapbio will come out. What do we want? Our vote must. Our vote must. Our vote must. Ori buruku Akapbio, pass the bill. 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 My name is Peter from Nigeria. Make we greet our people. This will not be protest. If you are standing by the side, then we came to visit here. We are not here on a courtesy visit. We are here on a protest. Yes. This National Assembly gate now where we go there. Yes. So I don't know what you are there for that corner to do. Whatever that they are doing here, this is where we are going to gather. This place is
This is the voice of Peter. I'm unlike.
Are we lazy? Akapbio! 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 Tajudeen Abbas! Akapbio! Barau Jibrin! Benkalu! Senate Committee! Simon Lalong! Seriaki Dixon! Ireti Kingibe! Senator Yaradua! All of you! Pass the bill! Pass the bill! My vote must count! My vote must count! No glitches! No glitches! Pass
Akapbio! 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 Pass the bill! Because sorry, Buruku let's say now. Should I say? Iwa Buruku, what boy, what way they go like yeah? Or one National Assembly members no one. In fact, for 3 years, Oshileshe, you change national anthem one day. National anthem one day. Electoral Act 3 years will never fit pass out. As how now? As how? Who will not the wine? Yes.
If Nigeria is not a country of particular concern, and we have lawmakers of particular concern, 2023 election, they say there was a glitch, and more than 2 years later, no independent audit, nothing to guarantee that by the coming elections we will not have glitches. The demand of everybody here is simple. We want free, fair, credible elections. That is the foundation of every democracy. Sir, in African countries, military coup took place. Nobody died. In Nigeria, during democratic elections, people die. To vote in Nigeria can be a death sentence. And lawmakers or politicians do not think it is expedient for them to make sure the process is credible and seamless. Look at the mischief of politicians. You change national anthem bill within 1 day. If the president apply for loan today, before evening it will be approved. But electoral act amendment bill, for 2 years and counting, committee meeting upon committee, yet it has not been passed. Who is afraid of free and fair elections? Is Nigeria the only democracy that Democrats do not like free and fair elections? And this the Senate is supposed to be the hallmark of the democracy. Until votes begin to count, the country is not moving forward because there is no deterrence. What we do is to reward criminality and corruption. The more corrupt you are, the more likely you can win election. The way Nigeria is going, if we don't fix our election, known bandits and terrorists will run for office because they're already holding peace and stakeholder forum in Katsina and other parts of the country. We must sanitize our electoral process. That is the first point of accountability. Let leaders know that power comes from the people and then let them go there and behave irresponsibly. So that is our simple demand. Let votes count. Let there be free and fair election. Is it a bad demand, sir? It is unfortunate that by January today 2026 we are still talking about this. According to the laws, at least a bill should be already signed 1 year out of the next election. Elections are about February next year. So as we are today, we are almost late. There is no consideration of the bill in the Senate. The House considered few clauses of it and went on holidays. Until today, they are just resuming for the year in 2026. So we are almost late, but it is part of the plan. The strategy was not even to pass it. Even if they pass it, they will create loopholes where they will be rigging and malpractice. So it is up to Nigerians to mobilize and know that when millions of people come out to vote, it makes rigging difficult. So it is Nigerians that will really give themselves electoral reform. All we will do is to get the legal framework. We will try to continue to put pressure. Nigerians must know that until your votes count, we are wasting time in this country. Whether they sign it or not, of which they will pass it, we will ensure that the vote will protect our vote. For me, Peter, for Nigeria, my vote must count 2027. I'm not part of these shenanigans and these unfortunate criminal circles we call leadership. Our votes must count. 2027, we do not want glitches. Whatever that was the glitches, the person who said there was glitches is now an ambassador, by the way. Confirmed to be an ambassador. My brother, make you see country where we did. Nigerians want to vote our leaders. Without free and fair election, what is the deterrence? What is the... We have incentivized bad leadership because you know you can reward yourself with more years. No matter how bad you are, you can come back, you can install stooges. We say enough. Our vote must count. They must pass the bill. Whether they like it or not, we will mobilize and come out and vote. So either ways, they will pass it or they will pass it.
That's right. My vote must count! My vote must count! My vote Peter for Nigeria, don't be sure. Peter for Nigeria.
For Nigeria to move forward, we must do away with these three fraudulent arms. For us to do away with it, we must fix INEC and have free and fair election. Our vote must count, and that is what they don't want. So that they do everything, so that even president will say they no go sign that law. But as it is, if you steal my mandate the first time, 2023, shame on you. If we allow you to steal it the second time, shame on us. So Nigerians will not go shame. Akapbio, it is the people who want
to rig election that will go to court. Akapbio must come out and pass the electoral reform bill. No. As we dey talk now, make officers no contact because this Nigeria so now Nigeria. This National Assembly where we come from. Akapbio will come out. What do we want? Our vote must. Our vote must. Our vote must. Ori buruku Akapbio, pass the bill.
Akapbio, pass the bill. Akapbio, pass the bill. Akapbio, pass the bill. Akapbio, pass the bill.
My name is Peter from Nigeria. Make we greet our people. This will not be protest. If we are standing by the side, then we came to visit here. We are not here on a courtesy visit. We are here on a protest. This National Assembly gate now where we go there. So I don't know what you are there for that corner they do. Whatever that they are doing here, this is where we are going to gather. This place, so where they now here we are. No, the Akapbio go meet us here. Akapbio go meet me here.
Must count. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. We are tired of selection. Give us election. We are tired of selection. Give us election. We are tired of selection. We want election. We are tired of selection. Yes, we want election. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Thank you so much for the strength of the media, in all of the struggles that we have been through. We are asking the Senate to come back to the real-time transmission, electronic transmission, because there seems to be misunderstanding the way people are explaining electronic transmission. We say upload from the ward level, from the voting point, from the polling unit. When you IREV, upload immediately. And when you upload, what happens? Whether you have, even if you are saying it's in a place where there is no network, as soon as you get to the network environment, the thing uploads. And so what we are asking the Senate to do is to come back to the same resolution of electronic transmission. You are creating, confidence and trust for a system. Let them not take us back. The real-time transmission is about when people vote, it will count. When you say you have covered the country, a lot of people are supporting you. What we want is a transparent and accountable system. Transmit, let whoever deserves it win. And we need to point out the fact that we normally vote for party logos. When you go on a party ticket and you no longer want to belong to the party, you need to also declare your exit. The position should be declared vacant. So it's not about you going up and down. Nobody ever votes. No person's face is in the ballot box. It's the party itself. So you declare that seat vacant when you leave the party. This is very essential. So transparent election is all we are talking about. Electronic transmission of the results to the polling unit. Don't deceive us by saying, they don't have network there. No, upload. Wherever you go into the network, it uploads immediately. And so this is what we are talking about. We are not asking for too much. This morning is going to be a peaceful protest, a peaceful environment to say citizens can air out their voice. Their voices should be heard.
Timelines for INEC.
The timeline for INEC is very important. How can you now say? Because INEC need time to plan. Even with the 360 days, they are struggling with it. It's not enough. And now you are cutting it down by half. It's not acceptable. The timeline should still remain 360 days so that INEC can plan very well for the election. The new INEC, even the chairman, needs to also organize himself and organize his people. But whatever timeline, and this is what we are talking about, because the transmission is very, very important. The effective, immediate passage of the law is very important so that the president will also have time to look through. We don't want version control and version, we are asking the National Assembly to represent the people of Nigeria, represent the system. We want one Nigeria. We want a good country for our children and our grandchildren. Believe in the system. We believe in Nigeria. We are not giving up hope for anybody. The fact that we are here today means we have hope for Nigeria. If nobody is saying anything, they should know that it's a time bomb. We are asking now Be responsible and respond to the election. Go and contest your election. Be safe. Everybody should. We are calling Nigerians to come out and take charge of their destiny. Thank you very much.
Who is that?
No. Let me tell you, the problem was where they now said that they are returning the provision of section 65 of the 2022 Electoral Act.
Yeah, this is what I've just reported. You know exactly what they said.
No, it's not what you reported.
Are you were there?
Electronic transmission. I'm telling you. I was there. I'm telling you about electronic transmission.
Okay. What is your position now?
Different from transfer. Is different from transfer of results.
Senator, what's your position now?
Yes.
Are you saying that Senator Abaribe,
our position is that
and Senator Akapbio misrepresented the process to the Nigerian public? In other words, that they are lying in the position they have taken?
Well, you are a media practitioner, and you know that the news you got after that day's plenary was that the Senate has rejected electronic transmission of results. That was what trended everywhere, and it was for a reason that while we agreed that electronic transmission of results will be returned during our closed session, when we came back to the plenary, towards the end, something happened. The chief whip of the Senate rose and said that he's moving that the electronic transmission of result will be expunged and replaced with transfer. And immediately the Deputy Senate President seconded him. And the Senate President immediately put it to a vote. A vote. Those in support say aye, those against say nay. And the ayes have it. So what you will capture in that proceeding will be that we have rejected electronic transmission, and then that we have returned transfer that was in the Electoral Act of 2022. That is the crux of the matter. And we are saying that that's not what the senators agreed to. That surreptitious move to put that question that the Senate President put without any debate is the crux of the matter. And anybody who is now saying that electronic transmission of result was not removed is not saying the truth. What you will see is transfer of result. Go take your Electoral Act section 65, 2022, and read it. It talks about transfer of result, not electronic transmission of result. Electronic transmission was an introduction to the suggested amendment. Section 63 says that results shall be mandatorily transmitted electronically to the INEC viewing portal. It's different from section 60 sub 5 of 2022 that results shall be transferred. You cannot take these two things to be the same thing. So that is what has elicited the controversy. And if they say that they didn't remove transmission, electronic transmission, let them restore it the way it was in our general agreement in closed session, that electronic transmission of results shall
Senator,
be embedded.
Senator Ume.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned that you were part of the minority caucus that addressed Nigerians, and then after the fact you are saying something else. It looks like you changed your mind.
No.
That's exactly
we're not
what it looks like.
I've not said anything different.
No, you are saying something different from what Abaribe said.
Ruben, please, can you... Abaribe said that what we pass is electronic transmission of results. But that's not the case now. So I don't think there's any ambiguity in what we're canvassing. We're saying that the results shall be transmitted electronically. If it is so, there will be no fuse.
These last few days, the Senate had a plenary session where the Senate President said, look, the ruling about electronic transmission of result is that we're going to leave it the way that it was in 2022, the act. Now, before you answer that, the background is that both members of the House of Reps and the National Assembly their electoral committees agreed that, look, we need to mandate electronic transmission of results. They all agreed. The Senate members, the House of Reps members, they agreed. There were all kinds of retreats and meetings, behind the scenes stuff. But here comes Senator Akapbio and attempting to knock all of that down. Mr. Okonkwo, how do you respond to this?
Well, let's say that it's pathetic, it's depressing, and very irritating that the Senate president, that is the first amongst equals, he's just a senator, that his own colleagues chose to preside over them, will unilaterally, in cahoot with some of his gang in the National Senate, try to cunningly and surreptitiously overrule the entire Senate. Now, let us even say the whole idea of Electoral Act 2022 was to introduce technology and electronic transmission of results. That is the whole reason for it. If you recall, President Buhari, the first time they amended the act without putting the provision for the electronic transfer, he refused to assent to it until they put that provision. So the issue here is that there is an outcry that after the election of 2023 and the petition and the determination of the issue by the Supreme Court, people are no longer sure whether it is mandatory or discretionary on INEC to electronically transmit. And the Supreme Court noted that. Of course, I disagree that it was not mandatory. It was mandatory in Electoral Act 2022. But the Supreme Court is the final court. The Supreme Court noted that because of some vagueness in some sections, especially 60 subsection 5, where they use the word transfer without using the word transmit, that it could result in some vagueness. And then there is a need for the legislature to make it mandatory. Let me tell you the beautiful, notable pronouncement by Abba Aji, Justice of the Supreme Court, as he still is. He said, modernity and technology stare us in the face, and we cannot turn back the hand of time. He said, to go against the use of technology and electronic transmission and transfer of election results in this high-tech era and period is to be an enemy of democracy, and to stick to the vicious cycle of election rigging, manipulation, falsification, and subterfuge. This is the pronouncement of Abba Haji, Justice of the Supreme Court. And he went further to plead with the legislature that they should amend this.
Is it the 2023?
2023 article versus INEC. Number 2, 2023. 19 Nigeria Weekly Law Report, part 1917, 761 at page 876. And in 877, the learned judge Abba Aji of the Supreme Court went further to plead with the legislature to please nip this confusion in the bud by making it clear and unambiguous through amending the process that legislature, that INEC does not have any discretion, that it is mandatory. I had to state the case. Atiku's case was the only presidential appeal that was considered by the Supreme Court. So it is the only appeal now that tells you the position of the Supreme Court as long as presidential election is concerned, using the Electoral Act 2022. Now, some judges, even in that judgment, like Akomai Agim, was of the opinion that 2022 Act made it clear that electronic transmission is compulsory. He said it must be done. Wow. So the issue here is that some judges differed.
Yeah.
But the issue here is this. Why would the legislature prevaricate on an issue that the Supreme Court had told you that it encourages electoral rigging, manipulation, and makes you an enemy of democracy? What it means is that Senator Akapbio has become an enemy of democracy and is sticking to the vicious cycle of election rigging, manipulation, falsification, and subterfuge by trying to maintain the same provision that Supreme Court told you that if you do, you are an enemy of democracy. That man is an enemy of democracy and should be removed if he doesn't resign.
Wow. Well, I mean, it is quite a very serious matter, because I had a conversation with Mr. Clement Unwako, the day right after, and he said to me that, look, he is the executive director of Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, and they've been working with the National Assembly, behind the scene, even trying to facilitate some of the retreats. And he said that at all the retreats held in Lagos and other parts of the country, members, each of the houses, they have their electoral committee members. As a matter of fact, Senator Lalong, who was the DG for APC presidential election in 2023, was the chairman of the Senate Electoral Committee, and they all endorsed. They all endorsed this idea. Yeah, mandatory transmission. So absolutely. That is why many Nigerians, are quite outraged.
It is unbelievable.
So the next question I'd like to ask you is that. Yes. I know that, I don't know whether you are quite a politician, you are a new breed of politician. How is it possible?
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
That the Senate president can have that kind, let's even forget the audacity, but how can he prevail when the committee of Senate had recommended something that is different? How does that even happen?
In one word, corruption. When people hear corruption, they always rush to think it is only financial. No. Corruption is the abuse of public office for private gain. Corruption, the whole idea is for self-preservation. The whole idea is that they know they've lost the support of the Nigerian people. And so they want to rig the 2027 election before it even started. Look at shifting the notice, the time INEC will give notice.
By half.
No, what sense does it make? You know why? Because if they conduct their primary earlier, people who will be dissatisfied because they are going to implode will have the opportunity to find alternatives before the time. So personal gain. So they want to cut everything in order to make sure that they survive. Private gain. So this is simply corruption. And if you witnessed the proceeding of the House, you saw the way he just told somebody, move a motion, another second. Those in support say, look, if you have been in such parliament, and I'm telling you the truth, at times people will be just discussing because they know what they have already agreed on. So they will just be saying, I, in all this. They will not know that some evil has been done. Let me tell you something. Even if Tinubu comes out unopposed in 2027, he will fail. Because our constitution is clear. That even if you are the only person that came out, they will still ask Nigerians to vote whether yes or no. Right. That you will, more people will vote no. How can you vote yes? No, let me tell you. Would there be any person that is sane that will transport himself under the new flight ticket cost of Tinubu, 500,000 naira, to go to his village, to go to the cubicle, to vote for Tinubu? No, is it possible? Okay, without preempting things. The person cannot even travel through the land because he will be afraid that he will be terrorized, kidnapped, or killed. the person cannot travel through the air because he can't afford the air ticket. The person cannot travel through the sea because, one, river may not have reached his village, and even if he travel, he would die. Can't you? You're hearing about boats capsizing every day.
Especially in Niger State. But the problem...
So it is hopeless. And they now want to rig the election before it starts. And they are making a mess of the Electoral Act 2022. Let me tell you, without mandatory electronic transmission of results, there is no Electoral Act that encourages technology.
Okay.
And INEC itself, of course, you know, the only reason we are doing this is because everybody has lost confidence in INEC. In that Supreme Court judgment, Justice Inyango Koro, Justice of the Supreme Court, as he still is, he said, truth be told, that the non-transmission of the election results into the INEC Rev portal in real time, electronically, reduced the confidence of the people in the election. And so what it means is that even the Supreme Court has understood that people lost confidence in that election because this was not electronically transmitted. And there is a Senate president, because the legislature is the foundation of democracy, is the gatekeeper of democracy. The reason America is still standing today is because of the legislature that has refused to be compromised. Of course. And you have a Senate president who wants to rig election, who wants to manipulate election by Supreme Court's own submission, who wants Nigerians to lose confidence in the election. Because the Supreme Court has told you that the best way to make sure that the people have confidence in the election is immediately you finish in the polling unit, let them see their result in their own phone. And let me tell you, when people are debating, the legislature should better have an interpretative clause to every word they use. I told you that, in my own opinion, there were substantial provisions that made it mandatory for INEC to transfer and transmit. Section 62, good. Section 62, verse 2. Section 62, subsection 2, is very clear. He said, INEC shall compile, maintain, and update on a continuous basis a register of election results, to be known as National Electronic Register of Election Results, which shall be a distinct database and a repository of polling unit by polling unit results, including collated results of any election organized by INEC. And they should maintain the electronic copy at their headquarters. What else do you need?
That's what the law says. Even
Section 62. Now, the Supreme Court now took Section 62(1) and said this represents the manual transfer. And Section 62(2), which is the completion of the electronic transfer, you said no, it is post-election process. No. The interpretative canon of the law is that you interpret a section jointly, holistically, politically, not taking one subsection. One section is one section. So if the Supreme Court took 62(1), they must take 62(2) to complete the hybrid nature. That is actually the collation system they're talking about. 62(2). And they said on a continuous basis. Do you know what that means? Immediately you finish the election, transmit the polling unit. And each collation you finish, you transmit. So each level of collation is using that data, which they said repository of election result, to be used to guide you.
Okay, you know,
but then, because of that nebulosity, that confusion, there is nothing wrong in the legislature confirming it by amending it so that it will leave nobody in doubt.
All right, good. Let's move on, because I wanted to also talk about a few other things, you know, and our time is fast, going very fast. The issue of insecurity persists. But something happened in this country on Christmas Day. You had the U.S. president, the U.S. government, you know, launch a series of Tomahawk missiles, I think about 12, you know, in southwest Nigeria.
Northwest.
Northwest. In northwest Nigeria, specifically Sokoto. So, Since then also, you've had the Americans, send us some equipment that they can help our intelligence. And then this last week, the Americans also sent a small team of military military officials. Now, I want to ask you, Ken, how do you interpret this? Because I think that, hey, if you need help, you need help, But I'd like to hear what's your perspective.
My perspective, first and foremost, is that it is the colossal failure and admission of failure that Tinubu's government is incapable of protecting the lives and property of Nigerians. This is the first time in the history of this nation that a government will say they invited a foreign government to bomb our country. And do you know the most annoying thing that is making me to even want to cry? We heard about this bombing from America, not from Nigeria.
Although they confirmed it.
But he said that's what we heard.
You're right.
And I'm telling you, if we have not heard, they may not even have told you.
Oh, wow.
It's a shame. Everything that is happening, the troops are so called, we heard it from Americans. So can you imagine such thing as sensitive as the security of the people? And a foreign country is performing the act in Nigeria, and we are hearing it from a foreign country. So it's a total mess. We need help. Yes, we do. Because life has no duplicate. Since January 1, what we have been hearing is stories of tears and blood. Kwara State, that used to be very peaceful before Tinubu came in, Kwara State is now under siege. That terrorists go out to tell people convert or be killed. That terrorists send letter beforehand. The village head will alert the security operatives, and nothing will be done until they are massacred. The only achievement Tinubu has made in security is to send verbal condolence messages and to speak empty words. That's the security objective will do, the security agency, nothing else. I'm sorry to tell you that it will still happen again.
Well, okay.
I want to tell you, the last time I was talking with you, last 2 years or thereabout, I told you these governments will fail. And the reason is this: they know the solution. But because of their own self-preservation, they don't want to cure it. Simple. State police. I remember I told you that 4 years you will see this state police will not come. You say you will be shocked. Because then they were saying they will soon do it. They will soon do it. The first year they came in, I said, look, first year is 25% of the government.
Yeah.
Now it's 75%. We're approaching the third year. Have you seen state police? That is why it will happen again. We have about 923,000 square kilometers of land in Nigeria. Look at how many we have in our security forces. Do you think that even when they are well equipped and well motivated, they will be able to oversee all? America, with its sophistication in technology, they have federal police, they have state police, they have community police. Yeah. Every university has its own police system. Why don't we have the same thing in Nigeria? You want to monopolize all the forces so that you can use them to intimidate and manipulate the system for your self-preservation. That is all. So, unfortunately, do you know the annoying thing? In Tinubu's regime, people are killed not only by human terrorists, but by even animals. A young lady, rising star, the lady with the golden voice, a snake beat her.
Are you going to hold the president?
Absolutely. They went to all the medical centers and all the hospitals. Anti-snake venom was not there. Johesu, 90 days have been on strike. And this is the government that is borrowing all this money, that has stopped first subsidy, and the health system has collapsed. If that health system was working, that lady would be alive. I can't remember the last time I heard that snake bite killed somebody. But look at this rising star. But have you not noticed that one young lady that was the best nurse 2025, Chinemerem Chimeziem, died One chance, people. Security coming in FCT.
In Abuja.
Security, rising star. Why is it that you saw how the treasurer, former treasurer of MBA, a lady, Nwabo, princess, died? One chance. Why is it that it is rising stars that are being killed in Tinubu's regime? Why is it that it is women and children that are dying? Any government that is evil has a way of killing women and children. The World Bank report, no, the United Nations report, you said Nigeria has now the highest maternal mortality rate. 1 out of every 100 women that give birth dies. That same instrument that is the channel of joy has become channel of tears in Nigeria. 56% of the women give birth at home because they can't afford hospital. They can't afford transportation. 35% of the people, 35 million, are now in abject poverty. They can't afford food. 130 million are in poverty, and 10 million is being added every day. We are in a sorry state in this country. Only God can save us. And that is why we must have to make sure that everything about the election is straightened out, all the amendments, so that Nigerians will choose whether to continue in this abject misery, poverty, or degradation of their lives, or choose a new life.
Thank you so much for coming to Inside Sources. Thank you for your voice. And thank you for the passion that your voice carries.
Thank you very much.
U.S. National Prayer Breakfast has been making the news here in Nigeria, especially because, Mr. Donald Trump, recognized, as it's done in protocol, the attendance of the First Lady. I want you to tell us, what happened in that room, because you were also there.
Okay. First of all, some housekeeping rules. I think I want to caution that we shouldn't be reading too much into this. Some of us were invited by, I think, the U.S. Congress that hosts the National Prayer Breakfast. And I remember this is not the first time I've been invited for the prayer breakfast. When I was speaker, I was invited a couple of times. Unfortunately, the nature of my official responsibilities then didn't allow me to attend any, though I did send representatives. But as to the reason behind the National Prayer Breakfast here in Washington, it's a forum. I think it has nothing as such to do with religion, because I can see people of all faiths attending. And from the explanation we got from the organizers, it is a forum, an event, full of beehives of activities where people are supposed to come and establish relationship in the spirit of Jesus. And this year, it was wonderful. And I must also say that as part of the housekeeping rules, we were not official delegations of the Nigerian government, though we represented Nigeria. And apart from the major event where I believe President Trump was gracious in recognizing the First Lady, there were side events, there were meetings with high-ranking government officials, and some of the members of Congress, some at Capitol Hill. I remember attending quite a lot. And some requested that we keep details of the meeting a bit secret now. But I believe that some of the things we garnered will be shared with officials of our home government as soon as we get back home. So it actually was a wonderful event. Apart from the recognition of the First Lady, I think the President said it there clearly that they are concerned about Nigeria. And he clearly stated that he ordered the December 25 strike and may do so. So I want us to understand this. Based on their own assessment here, the concern has been that, honestly, frankly speaking, that the government is not doing enough. But at some of the meetings we attended, we had to explain to these people, to our counterparts here in the United States, that the problem is structural. It is not more of an intent on the part of the government to persecute or to encourage persecution of anybody in Nigeria. And first of all, you know that the number of servicemen we have in Nigeria, perhaps if you add all the security agencies, we may not have up to 1 million personnel. And then they're supposed to protect over 200 million people. So even from that perspective, you see that there's a problem. And then they are bothered about persecution, not persecution, prosecution of offenders. So even if you talk about the prosecution of offenders, the judicial process in Nigeria is painfully slow, and we have to point at in some cases where even some judges feel they don't want to handle cases involving terrorism. So that is another snark in either bringing perpetrators to justice or taking justice to them. And then thirdly also, perhaps we have nothing like early warning signals for conflict management that will afford us to proactively deal with this. So you can see that what is affecting the response really is structural. And then these problems have been there over time. To be able to solve them at once may be a problem. But we did point out the fact that realizing this, the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu has directed the security agencies to increase the number of personnel, and I think that has been done. So it's in recognition of the fact the responses are a bit slow on account of the number of service personnel that the president did that, and I think that is a step that will move the needle further by the grace of God.
Thank you for that. While the prayer, the U.S. National Prayer Summit was going on, the Americans, made a statement, which the Nigerian government has also confirmed, that a small team of U.S. military people, I don't want to use the word troops because I'm not sure that the number is that large, but they are already in Nigeria, to provide quite a number of military assistance in strategy, intelligence, operation, even training and capacity development. So did you have any kind of inclination during your conversation around the National Prayer Breakfast about how this was going to work with the Nigerian government, or to help with the situation that we have regarding the killings and insecurity?
Well, I can tell you this one for free, that the very day that statement was put forward by the American government was the day we were told at the Capitol Hill that that is what has been done, the measure that has been taken by the U.S. government, but subject to further discussion with the Nigerian authorities. Now, I've followed discussions at home, and some of them even by professors who should actually know better. I believe that some comments are based on misjudgment or misreading of the international order. The international order right now, my brother, has collapsed. And the truth is that, as it is said, I don't know who said that statement, that we are at a point now in history where you are either at the table or you are on the menu. And to be very frank, I don't think even being at the table is a guarantee for you not to be on the menu. I don't think so. So for me, I have even had to rephrase that to say that we have run into a situation where the strongest at the table devours the rest. So we have to understand this. We have to understand this. If care is not taken, if we don't do the right things, if we don't take all the steps that we need to take in order to be at the table, I can guarantee to you that Nigeria's future may be determined without us. Based on what I know, based on what I've heard, based on what I've seen here.
Yeah, I mean,
It's scary.
Yeah, I am that same worry, Excellency, because I have also been, relating with quite a few of the individuals, especially in the U.S. Congress. I was there in November. I met quite a few of them, and some of the things that I have heard, since then, is pointing very clearly that the Americans and the American government, they are going to take an interest, my brother, in what happens in 2027. Did you get that sense in your interaction in the past 1 week?
So guys, you can see that Nigerians are really so tired. Nigerians are tired of APC leadership. These people, they've destroyed this nation, and still they are not tired. I mean, Nigerians are saying no more to the APC. We've had enough of you guys. We cannot continue to destroy this nation. Nigeria deserves to be a better country. APC is afraid. Their own is to threaten people. There is this guy who actually posted in the video, that AMAC election is by the corner. So you have SDP, you have APC, and then you have ADC. These are like the three leading political parties in that the Abuja election. And guess what? The APC guy has decided to use the tactics that was used in Lagos to threaten people that if you come out and vote for another party, that you are going to suffer for it. So guys, Nigerians, you have to speak up. Nigerians, something is wrong. Something is going wrong. Everybody should lend his voice to condemn the APC for coming out to begin to threaten others that if the people of Abuja should go the other way in voting, that they are going to suffer for it. Can you imagine? The DSS is going to be silent. They can't do anything because, it is their people. Now, let me show you some reactions from Nigerians after Peter Obi joined the protest. This person is very good. He actually does listen. I wonder why the current opposition party make it so easy for APC to run us over easily with no pushback. Atiku is of course too big to involve in things like this. He thinks he can dollarize his way to people's heart. A fucking joke. And this person said, drug baron Tinubu said that he's so popular with 31 governors. So why afraid, honestly? Hey, Shebi, they said they have all the governors. And this person here say, where is Atiku and Amici? Or why are they busy hustling for delegates to win primary election? We know whom our true leader is. INEC, nice, but where is Atiku and others? And this person said, this is how to ensure democracy isn't defeated, honestly. And this other person here say, what does anti-Senate mean? You workers of evil, anti-Senate, okay, I think what is anti-Senate protest now? Wow, a leader. And this person said, now the time be these are the those that are protesting are his followers. AIT and stupid reporting, it's about to get done. Losers final. So guys, the question is, if Tinubu says he has all the 36 governors, let's call it 36, including week of the FCT. If Tinubu is boasting that the APC has 31 governors, why is he afraid? I mean, why is Tinubu afraid? So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.